Troy, the first things I want to talk about, I don't want to obviously ignore or overlook what's going on right now. And just with your experience helping different small businesses and enterprises come up with marketing strategies across social media, we're seeing a lot right now on social through different brands, the Instagram and the Black Square, people sending the resources, which is a great start. But what would you say to the business leaders, the small business owners about how to navigate content, during this time? And not make it seem like this is a trend.
Exactly. I don't know if I'm having a lag, by the way. I apologize.
Okay.
I think one thing I was really thinking about, and I've been writing this post, a series of posts for a few days now. But the thoughts around it is, do not approach this as the theme content of the month. Like,
Yeah.
oh, right now it's about minorities, it's about people of color, about Black Lives Matter. Yep, let's filter and push a lot of content. Now, I'm not saying don't do it, be an ally,
Yeah.
have that good intent. However, do not use this again as a theme of the month style to make yourself have high engagement with the intent of driving people to grow your following and everything about that. If you're not within this movement, if you're not within a person of color, if you're not dealing with all these different things that we're dealing with as far as social injustice right now, currently in America, you are privileged, you are blessed, and we ask you to kind of take a back seat. And it's okay if
Yeah.
you've done everything that you could do from a marketing perspective, from a social media marketing perspective, nurturing, telling your story, having authentic engagement with your community, having a week of not really posting anything hardcore selling, you're going to be
Yeah.
perfectly fine. Your bottom
Yeah.
line isn't going to crash. You're not going to lose a million different things. You're going to be perfectly okay. Now, this is the time to take a step back and maybe learn, maybe analyze your brand, analyze your
Yeah.
communities, and seeing, are there things we can do? Are there things we can have conversations about within reason that nurtures the discussion, that empowers and amplifies others right now? This is a time for a lot of brands. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't typically want to elevate or other brands outside, maybe competitors or whatever. Now is the time to just come together for this one moment, because this isn't a business thing. We don't want people to make a profit off of this or anything like that. This
Yeah.
is really a human issue thing. This is
Yeah.
us making sure that both of us, as we're doing this live show now, and those that are watching, you
Yeah.
feel equal. No one in this country should feel less than. And right now, just take a step back, analyze and amplify when you can, but do not try to
Yeah.
blast noise right now. If you have a lot of ads running, maybe you should turn them off. Maybe you should turn them off. If you have scheduled posts out there right now, maybe you
Yeah.
should put a pause on them. Consider those things.
Yeah. And you reference amplifying the different voices, within the Black community. There's, tons of Black creatives and Black business owners out there. You can Google search Black businesses near me and support them. But I guess that's just one way to continue to amplify. But can you elaborate more on what you mean by that for brands? Like, let's say you're in a meeting. It's just like, Troy, how can we keep amplifying this movement or this support? Because it's almost like we don't want to make this just, I say this is a movement. It's just make this more of a normal thing, like an everyday thing where we're, bringing awareness to all these, to the Black community.
I think a lot of people, we've seen it from sports world to entertainment world. Everyone's trying to figure
Yeah.
out, what do we do?
Yeah.
And as a marketer, as a social media individual, as a creative, somewhat of a micro influencer, so to speak, and also I happen to be, as I'm apparently Black as well, a lot of people have
Yeah.
come to me and asked me a lot of these questions, which are perfectly valid. And I've always
Yeah.
been a safe space to have those conversations, to divulge knowledge and information. However,
Yeah.
we do also want to note that we don't want to have token Black professionals where, hey, I want to come to you, I want to have a conversation with you about this because I feel safe having a conversation with you, versus
Yeah.
like being what else is going on. I would
Yeah.
advise, I'll stress this. A lot of companies push diversity and inclusion. However,
Mhm.
they're only really stuck on the diverse side. Yes, I have an X quota of Latinx, LGBTQIA, African American, Pacific Islander, and Asian communities in my
Yeah.
company, in my organization, or in my community. There needs to be a little bit more to that. It's one thing to have a diverse representation on your website and your graphic and everything else. It's another thing to be inclusive and hearing them, not saying anything,
Yeah.
not spin it to put to sell, not trying to pivot different ways and try to get everything out of it, just to be quiet and listen and hear what they have to say and incorporate a lot of their ideals, a lot of their opinions into your branding, into your marketing, into your social media
Yeah.
communication strategy. That's something that a lot of brands right now to do, especially right now with COVID-19. I've been saying this for the past 2-3+ months. Now is the time to look at your own inventory of your company, of your website, of your language, of your marketing strategies. If you need to rebuild your website, if you need to do all these different things, do it. But now with the elevation, what's going on externally in the world, and specifically amongst the Black community in America, now is the time to really put an extra lens on, do we really live by these diverse and inclusive standards that we're trying to convey in our marketing messaging?
Yeah. No, definitely great point, great insight there for a lot of marketers just trying to, again, to navigate this, because again, we talked about, we don't want this to be a trend. We don't want to, come off condescending and patronizing, the Black community of just like, here's a token interview, here's a token post about this. It's really just the consistent action after this. And I think you gave some great insight about how brands and companies can do that.